Yeah, my name's Adam Solano. I have a practice called Lakeside Financial Group. My broker-dealer is with Mass Mutual, one of the larger life insurance companies.
Very good. And where are you based, Adam?
I'm based in a northern suburb of Chicago called Grays Lake, Illinois.
Grays Lake, Illinois. And what are you doing based there and talking to an Australian media firm?
Some very kind people asked me to sit down and talk to you, and you seem like kind enough to sit. I just love talking about MDRT, what we do, how we do it, and trying, we're here in the spirit of sharing and learning and growing, and so that's why I'm here.
Okay, sounds pretty good. So we are at the 2019 MDRT Annual Meeting. Have you been a member for very long?
26 years. Oh, no, wait. I've been in the business 26 years, so that means I've been a member for 21 years.
Okay, very good. So 26 years, you've done a lot. Has it been the same business over that journey, or have you had different iterations of being an advisor over that time?
Always with Mass Mutual. The only new iteration would be the doing business as. So I used to have 2 business partners, then I had 2 business divorces. So now it's just me and my staff, and a new name, Lakeside Financial Group. And the reason for the name is that I live on a lake. So when I was going through that transition, I was literally sitting on my deck saying, okay, now what do I call my practice, since I gave my former partner the name of the company we had built for a while. And my wife goes, what about Lakeside? I went, Lakeside Financial Group it is.
It helps define who you are a little bit.
Yeah, and we try to create a theme in the office, so when you walk in, there's not, Standard & Poor 500 charts. There's nothing financial on the wall. It's all about scenes of lakes. So we try to, keep people calm and enjoying their experience and not getting stressed out because there's a, article about the stock market crashing or whatever,
Well, it sounds like I'd like to come and visit sometime.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Thank you. Now, we're going to talk about Lakeside a little bit more in a minute, but let's just go back a little bit before then. What was it, for example, that motivated you to join the industry in the first place? And was there something else, other goals or aims career-wise that you had before you joined?
No one else would have me, so that's why. So
fair enough, Adam.
Yeah, I was right out of school, and I applied to 10 law schools. I wanted to be a lawyer.
Why did you want to be a lawyer?
I don't know. I mean, it just sounded great at the time, frankly. My grandfather said one day we were sitting on a golf course, and he pointed to a big house, and he said, if you want to live in a house like that, you got to be a lawyer. I was 14. I'm like, okay. So I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. So I'm glad I am not a lawyer. So as I evolved in my life and career and education, I wanted to be more of a consultant. So I applied for a lot of consulting gigs. But my education, I'm an English and psychology major. I'd never taken a finance class, an economics class, a business class, nothing. Accounting, 0. And then when I bumped into this industry, so this business found me. I didn't find it. It found me.
So you fall into the category perhaps of a lot of people who certainly have a passion but not sure where to direct it as a youth or growing up, and not quite sure what your direction is. Do you think you've found your niche in the financial advice sector? I presume you have. Yeah,
I love what I do. I mean, helping people. It's really that simple. I mean, it can be more profound and deep than that, but when you're in it 26 years, you deliver some checks you don't want to deliver, and you deliver some checks that you do want to deliver.
Well, talking about delivering checks and the business, is that the nature of your business? Is it a risk-focused, is it a life insurance-focused business, or is it broader than that?
It's broader. It's really more planning-based, so it's evolved. Mass Mutual back then in 1993 was really just a traditional life insurance company, and now it's more of a planning, financial services-based institution. So my practice has changed with the industry, and we're not Lakeside Life Insurance Group. We're Lakeside Financial Group. So in our practice breaks down. We use planning processes. We find a lot of people buy product to create a plan versus creating that plan and then implementing the product. So we've come up. When we say we, I mean it's just me and my staff, but we've come up with some processes to engage the client. So we're not just boom talking about life insurance, boom talking about 529. We try to be conversational about it as well.
So it's more of a solutions-based proposition?
Yeah, if you're young, we have the process is called 6 Decisions You Won't Regret 20 Years From Now. And that came from an article that I wrote for the $1 Million Roundtable.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so they said, can you write an article about this? And I did, and I went, that would kind of be an interesting process. So 6 things you won't regret 20 years from now. And then at another MDRT meeting, heard Tom Hegna speak, and he was kind of crafting some points, and from that we built 7 steps toward a successful retirement.
So you really have built something over your journey. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
So what motivates you to get up, from a career perspective, to get up out of bed in the morning over and above wanting to help people? Or is it that, Adam? Is it that motivates you still?
Yeah, I mean, there's, you do have to reinvent yourself every 5 years, 3 to 5 years. Is that my motivation for getting up in the morning? I mean, I've had some staff turnover because I work a lot, and I can sit in my office for hours without any music or anything going on and just kind of chug along. So I'm just a good self-starter. Yeah, I mean, meeting new people, there's a lot of motivating factors to it, but I don't think there's a single one. I love my family. I like to provide, do things for them. And this business gives me the opportunity to coach, go visit them in school. They're now, some of them are away at college, so I can take some time off and
well, let's talk about that, because that was the next question anyway.
Okay.
What about your downtime, or at least time that might not be downtime, but time when you're not working on your business?
Well, I've gotten involved in politics, so of all the things to relax me, right? Get involved in politics, but
Tell me more.
So I've got 4 children. My older 2 are girls, the younger 2 are boys. The girls are now in college, and the boys don't want to hang out with their dad anymore. So
Of course, Adam.
A fellow MDRT member actually got involved politically, and one day we were just talking about politics and him getting involved, and I said, I've always kind of had a political itch that I wanted to scratch, and he said, we're looking for somebody where you live, and should I tell the powers that be? And I said, sure, go ahead, throw my name in the hat. And 2 days later I get a phone call, and a month later I'm running for office. So
That's brilliant. Is it local or state office, Adam?
it's a statewide office.
Okay.
And it's a lot of the skills that we do, kind of the advisory, consultative, creative skills that we learn in our profession, you can really apply into the political realm, because you have to be a critical thinker about things, and you have to relate to a lot of different kinds of people. And you may have a set of core beliefs, and someone else's core beliefs are different, and you got to get along, and you got to create some momentum there. And not all my clients share my faith or my beliefs and that type of thing. So
Well, I have to say, for an aspiring politician, you present very well.
Oh,
so that box is ticked. Like advisors, are you good at thinking on your feet when it comes to dealing with people as a politician?
Yeah, that was one of the things that got my star noticed, I suppose. Someone asked a very, very difficult question, and I was sitting on a panel of about 8 other people, and I was the last person to go. I was at the very end of the table, and the 7 people prior to me really couldn't answer the question, didn't answer the question, and I don't know if I just had extra time to think, but I answered it, and a couple people came up like, you're the only one that thought very quickly on your feet. And
How did that make you feel?
it was a nice pat on the back, sure. My sons and daughters didn't particularly care for me running for office because, your name's all over town, and I was like, why don't you, what's your issue with it? Like, we don't want to see our name driving to school and driving home.
So that's a factor, isn't it? The personal side, the family side for any politician, I suppose, is something that needs to be managed and done together. It's like it happens, you're a politician, but your family comes along the ride with you.
Yeah, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
And that's similar to this business too, right? I mean, you see a lot of men and women that come into this, they don't have spousal support right away, and it requires a lot of commitment, a lot of time, a lot of challenge. And and sometimes you just have to believe in something, even though those that are closest to you don't. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities.
Well, I'd love to explore it some more, but unfortunately time prevents us from doing that. But it sounds like you have a full and rich life, a varied life. When you look to the future, do you look to the future as a challenge or optimistically or both?
The stuff that scares me the most is probably the artificial intelligence conversations that are going on. Because I really would love to have one of my kids step into my role. I'm just turned 49, so you have, as I said earlier, you have to reinvent yourself every 5 years. So I'm like, okay, at some point I need to be able to turn this over in some way, shape, or form. It'd be great to one of my kids wanted to step in and do that. And I've had 5 acquisitions myself for colleagues that have approached me to take their practice over, and I've realized in that process, too many people treat it like an acquisition versus an adoption. Taking someone's life work over is really an adoption. This business of mine, this is my 5th child, and I'd love to turn it over to one of my kids versus someone that's outside of the family. Maybe that's an Italian thing.
Well, and that's a challenge. That's a challenge for you too. So, as we finish, allow me to put you on the spot.
Sure.
And make you think on your feet by
Okay.
asking you a final question.
Okay.
What is your message to your peers that will be listening and viewing this conversation about the value of MDRT?
Don't miss the value of MDRT. Don't procrastinate about the value of MDRT. Invest in yourself by spending time and resources away from your office and your family. You won't regret a second of it. I've been doing this a long time, each and every meeting. There's always, on my part, a little apprehension. I've been here an entire week, but I don't regret a minute of it. I am tired, but there is, to be truthful, I'm a little tired, but there is certainly lots of fruit coming from my time here, not just from friendships, but things that I'm going to implement back in my office when I get back.
Okay, so nice thinking on your feet. Thank you very much indeed for your time, Adam Solano. Best wishes for the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.